Dear students, today we are going to learn about chromosomal theory of inheritance. The Gregor Mendel. He is also known as the father of modern genetics. Mendel's work was far beyond the excellence. However, it was not appreciated right from the time it was put forth before the scientific society, because there were several reasons that led to the demotivating rejection of his efforts. So let's have a look on the reasons of the rejections of Mendel's work. One of the major reasons included his concepts of non-blending inheritance. According to Mendel, genes, or factors to be precise, do not blend, and that the phenotype of the offsprings is similar to one of the parent. It cannot be an intermediate between two parents. However, the variations seen in the organisms in general could be explained by this concept of non-blending of parameters. Secondly, Mendel introduced mathematical calculations to explain biological processes. He presented the results in the form of ratios, such as phenotypic and genotypic ratios. But at that time, the mathematical forms of biological results are not easily accepted. Hence, his work was largely ignored. So, lastly, when Mendel said that there are factors which are passed from one generation to another generation, he had no physical proof of those units. In the sense, there was no evidence of the physical form of factors that Mendel could present. So, the proposition that the units called factors exist was like a hypothetical theory. So, Mendel had no proper evidence that such units actually exist. So, due to all these reasons, Mendelian genetics remained dormant for several years. So, after being almost rejected in the mid 1860s, the Mendel work remained unnoticed until the beginning of 20th century. So, what exactly happened in the early 1900s? Who shined a light on the remarkable contribution of Gregor Mendel?
As there were improvements in the allied sciences, Mendel's work started gaining attention. For example, the invention of upgraded microscope, such as from simple magnifying glass to the compound microscope and to the electron microscope. So all these kind of invention led to the improvement in sciences as well as led to the recognition of Mendel's work. With these inventions, cell features such as mitosis and meiosis become more visible. Chromosome imaging become more possible. So hence, the work of Mendel started gaining attentions of several new scientists. So there were two scientists from different parts of the globe who simultaneously put forth a few hypotheses. These hypotheses become a theory later, which is what we are going to study now. The first scientist was named as Walter Sutton. He was an American genetist and a physician. The second one was Theodor Boveri. He was a German biologist. Walter Sutton was working on grasshopper. He found that chromosomes occur in pairs during meiosis and separate from one another during gamete formation. He put forth the assumption that a pair of chromosomes contain one chromosome from mother while the other from the father. The separation of chromosomes during meiosis may be the explanation of Mendel's law of inheritance. So, this is what Sutton hypothesized. Theodor Boveri was working on sea urchins. He found that in order to have a proper embryonic development, all the chromosomal pairs have to be present in the embryo. Both these works later were combined to give us a single theory which came to be known as Boveri-Sutton theory of inheritance. Now, it is also referred to as chromosomal theory of inheritance. The theory, in simple words, stated that the individual genes are found at a specific location on a particular chromosome. Also, the pattern of behavior of chromosomes during meiosis explains us the Mendel's law as why and how genes are inherited. The theory and thus laws of genetics can be explained well with the help of exactly 3 points or observations. The first point said that the chromosomes come in pairs. These are now called as homologous pairs by us. One chromosome from the pair comes from mother, while the other chromosome comes from the father. He said that factors, which are now called genes, they also come in pair. One factor of the pair is from the mother, while the other factor from the pair is from the father. The next point stated that the chromosomes from a single pair separate from each other during the process of meiosis. That means one chromosome will be passed to the respective gametes. This is just the simplest explanation of Mendel's law of segregation. In that law, Mendel emphasized on the separation of factors, that is allele, into gametes. The last observation of the theory states that different chromosomes assorts into gametes independent of each other during the meiosis. This is what even Mendel had said in his law of independent assortment. The alleles of different genes assort independent of each other during gamete formation. So this is how the chromosomal theory of inheritance helps us to understand that genes are present on the chromosomes and also that they are the units of heredity. And you can say this is how the theory supported Mendel's work and was a useful in proving the laws of genetics that has been put forth by the Mendel.